2024 provided some banger plots. From long-anticipated adaptations to surprise hits, emotional roller coasters, jaw-dropping visuals, there was something for everyone, like If My Wife Became an Elementary School Student. And today we're breaking down the ultimate must-watch anime of 2024 based on my wisdom. These are not in any particular order because it really depends on the anime phase you are in, except for the top 10 in this video that you simply must watch. After several years, our heart-grabbing isekai Re:Zero is back with some major patch updates, like Emilia's character development. If you found Season 2 a little slow, Season 3 went nuts from the very first episode. We had the bandaged Harley Quinn on a rampage with her power of, communism? Her ability to share emotional states meant when one person dies, everyone dies. The applications of her powers are endless. Imagine parties with her around.
Diddy, come on out.
But things only get worse for our heroes as problems and villains just constantly pop out of nowhere, covering the full range of psychopath to autistic spectrum, making this one of the more exciting seasons of Re:Zero. Many anime treat video games as a shallow hook, using them to trigger romance, comedy, or drama rather than fully exploring their potential. Shangri La Frontier breaks away from this trend by diving headfirst into the chaos and creativity of gaming worlds. Unlike Sword Art Online or Log Horizon, it doesn't rely on high stakes or life or death scenarios. Instead, it focuses on a dedicated gamer who finally gets to enjoy a masterpiece after slogging through countless terrible RPGs. What sets Shangri La Frontier apart is how it captures the essence of gaming, from its immersive lore to a realistic player base that feels alive. The action is exhilarating, delivering wild boss fights and a pace that outshines many of its predecessors. Sometimes, you just want that wholesome feeling. Step back from over-the-top drama and experience something genuinely sweet like Sign of Affection, a heartfelt love story about—
Why are you gay?
I'm all about toxic masculinity, and that's why Yakuza Fiance is a must-watch. Say bye-bye to Mr. Marshmallow and hello to unfixable psychopaths. We have the mafia, well-endowed teens, psychopathic main characters, and a toxic relationship, but this isn't your typical bad boy gets fixed by love rom-com. In fact, he drags the girl down his chaotic path and corrupts her instead, which turned out to be way more fun and refreshing to watch than I expected. If you want a badass romance dramedy, this is it. The additional release of Slam Dunk the movie finally gave many fans, including me, a chance to experience it. Watching Slam Dunk as a kid left a lasting impression, and 20 years later, seeing the final arc animated was worth the wait. As an anime-only fan, because I'm illiterate, waiting 2 decades felt like the ultimate No Nut November challenge, but the payoff was incredible. I was initially skeptical about the animation style, but it was actually more fitting. Unlike most sports anime, Slam Dunk avoids predictability by isolating a single match, leaving the broader stakes, like whether this is the team's last shot or if some players are in their final year. Yet, the match feels deeply personal. The emotional stakes are heightened by the character's struggles, troubled pasts, and grueling training, adding a powerful layer of tension. Subtle glances and movements replace internal monologues, while every fake-out and feint keeps viewers on edge, doubling the suspense in a way few sports anime can replicate. What takes most sports manga 300 chapters, this movie accomplishes in just 2 hours. Where others cut corners, this film uses deliberate choices to elevate the story, making it a standout in the genre. Goku and the gang are back, GT style, but with an adventure reminiscent of the OG Dragon Ball days. It's not for everyone, but as an OG Dragon Ball fan, and with this being Toriyama's final work, I had to see it through. And it was absolutely rewarding to see our Chibi Moses Vegeta splitting seas in his SSJ3 form. He finally regained his respect by disrespecting his enemies, and hopefully we'll get more of this type of action in 2025. This is another highly anticipated movie that captures all the magic of the series. While it may not hit as hard as the Shiratorizawa match, it's still an excellent addition for containing it within 80 minutes. Even the most unenthusiastic characters were brought to life. Before you know it, you're cheering for both sides, perfectly embodying the spirit of this battle, a nostalgic rematch between decades-long rivals on a national stage, pushing each other to their absolute limits. Elusive Samurai is at its core a coming-of-age tale about idealistic youngsters set against the backdrop of a brutal and merciless succession battle. It follows an 8-year-old who discovers that his escape skills are in fact for killing. This adds a unique twist to the action, with the protagonist so skilled in evasion and dexterity that you can't help but hum.
Can't touch this.
The animation brings the story to life and is undoubtedly its strongest point. Like museum-quality artwork, it's incredibly expressive and dynamic, enhancing each character's unique abilities and emotional depth. After 6 long years, Natsume returns and it's as heartwarming as ever. Every episode feels fresh with beautifully written stories, touching music, and lovable characters. Season 7 masterfully distills the series' best qualities, making it the most heartfelt season yet. For anyone who has ever felt alone, Natsume offers a quiet reassurance that life does get better. Through his journey, the series reflects the deep loneliness many feel and shows that healing is possible through compassion, connection, and time. It doesn't sugarcoat the struggle. You'll grieve, feel empty, and face countless hurdles, but like Natsume, you'll find your place in the world. It's a gentle reminder that even in the darkest moments, the sun will rise and life will continue, offering new chances for warmth and happiness. This is a must-watch for those seeking a slice of life anime with comfort and introspection. Everybody knows One Piece, some love it, some hate it, but I had to include the fan letter episode because it brings a striking sense of realism to the sprawling fantasy world grounded in the relatability of its NPCs. People like us. It's a beautifully crafted standalone story that captures the perspective of ordinary individuals on the sidelines, and somehow I found myself caring for characters I didn't even know 20 minutes ago. The episode vividly portrays the awe-inspiring wonders and sheer horrors of simply existing in a world dominated by diabolically powerful beings, making it a uniquely moving experience within the One Piece universe. Blue Lock Season 2 blueballed us until the very last episode. Season 1 was legendary, and the manga became the best-selling series of 2023, outselling giants like One Piece. As the saying goes, why fix something that isn't broken? So they decided to turn it into a colored audiobook. But despite its rivalry with Ragnarok's slideshow animation, the series still delivered some epic moments, especially in the final episode. Weirdly, 2024 saw a strange trend of single episodes carrying entire series, like the first episode of Ninja Kamui Uzumaki and the last episodes of Demon Slayer and Blue Lock. Sometimes sequels after a long hiatus can be hit or miss, leaving fans nervous, but Kimi ni Todoke Season 3 shattered all doubts, surpassing its first 2 seasons. Thanks to Netflix, we got 5-hour-long episodes with pacing so refined it even outshines the original series. This season is a nostalgic love letter to 2009, effortlessly capturing the charm of its earlier chapters. From the art and character designs to the heartfelt banter and bashful moments, everything feels like a seamless continuation. It rekindles the magic of watching these characters grow and navigate their relationships. While there are still 40 manga chapters left, the anime ends on such a satisfying note that fans can rest easy. Windbreaker is a meathead's paradise, another delinquent show, but unlike Tokyo Revengers, the main character can fight, and generally the fights are actually well choreographed. Story might not be its strongest point, but the entire series was peppered with non-stop hands flying. If you can accept the fact that adults don't exist in this world and love action, then this is probably one of the best hand-to-hand combat action series of 2024. Dead Demons. Alien invasions, government cover-ups, media conspiracy.
You have reached a pronoun checkpoint.
Add some cute high school girls and now we have a post-apocalyptic slice of life anime about society's worst flaws laid bare. It follows Kadode and Iran, two girls drifting through life while the world crumbles around them. But the real threat isn't the aliens, it's humanity's ignorance, cruelty, and moral decay. Through the chaos, their flawed friendship feels achingly real, grounding the story's heavy themes of corruption, prejudice, and survival. If you're into shows that make you question humanity, but also laugh at how we're all just stumbling toward disaster, this one's for you. Wistoria brought us a magical world with intense battles and emotional stakes. We have a new protagonist joining the no magic but somehow special category like Asta and Mashal. Unlike those two, Will's goal isn't something petty like becoming the Magic King or saving his family. Instead, he's a If you're like me and love seeing the underestimated underdog rise through the ranks while indirectly humiliating the top dogs and then domesticating them to be his allies, then Wistoria delivers exactly that.
I want to be with the girl that I love! Huh?
Blue Box feels different. Sure, the pacing may seem slow compared to many romance anime that give us these big, dramatic confessions, love rivals, and neatly tied up relationships, but it's not nearly as relatable as seeing a teenager stumble through the awkwardness of first love. Taiki isn't suave or bold, he doesn't sweep anyone off their feet, instead he quietly admires, hesitates, and makes small, meaningful moments count. You gotta understand, this isn't a story about grand gestures or perfect timing, it's about the slow, awkward reality of figuring out your feelings while juggling school, life, and sports. And then it hits you, why does this gym bag have more screen time than the basketball? Oshinoko continues its dual-themed story of murder mystery and the behind-the-scenes workings of the Japanese entertainment industry. This season felt even better than the last, with a focus on fictional theater and brilliant animation to bring each scene to life. It's a fascinating blend of drama, mystery, and an unfiltered glimpse into the sacrifices and compromises behind the art we love. Now, the top 10 anime of 2024. My Hero Academia reminds us why we fell in love with it in the first place. This is the darkest and most intense arc yet, where a lot happens. Deku shifting gears to replace the #1 hero, Todoroki's family attempting group suicide to resolve daddy issues, character development, quiet Bakugo getting a little too sweaty with Shigaraki and lost his heart to him, and most importantly, All Might reminding us not to worry because probably the most underrated series of 2024 is Orb on the Movement of Earth, a cinematic masterpiece that blended philosophy, history, and breathtaking visuals into one unforgettable package. It's basically the Vinland Saga of Copernicus's life set in 16th century Poland about a battle between science and the church. Our main protagonist just wanted a simple, easy life, but his biggest curse was his brain. And that got fast-tracked thanks to this elderly gentleman blackmailing him into forbidden research that happens to be the perfect, unshakable itch. Dungeon Meshi is a comedy fantasy show that absolutely cooked with its cooking. Imagine an anime about dungeons, but with food. Yes, it's like if Studio Ghibli and Dungeons & Dragons had a baby with a sprinkle of Japanese culture. It offers a fantastical and unique experience, truly one of the standouts in anime for 2024. The visuals are gorgeous and will make you crave roasted basilisk steak, but it's not all fun and games. While dungeons are typically a place of fear, trauma, and torture, Dungeon Meshi does a fantastic job blending those darker elements with playful humor, poking fun at its own fantasy tropes. The show skillfully combines comedy and adventure, giving the story a surprisingly realistic feel. The Apothecary Diaries is set in ancient China, and it's not often that we see anime inspired by Chinese culture. It reminded me a bit of Sayonkoku Monogatari, something I watched almost 20 years ago, with the main character being a girl who grows in influence at the imperial court. The show is filled with mysteries that gradually unravel, showcasing meticulous and insightful writing, and it's been a while since I've encountered such a well-constructed plot. While the individual mysteries may not be deeply thought-provoking, they tie together like a butterfly effect, where small events lead to bigger consequences or connect back to things that have already happened. The long-awaited adaptation has finally landed, and it's everything fans hoped for. The monster designs are terrifying, the action sequences are thrilling, and Kafka's journey as a reluctant hero hits all the right emotional beats. It can sometimes be frustrating when he doesn't use his kaiju powers when he clearly could, but it's only a matter of time before he fully embraces them. For older anime fans like myself who have been watching for decades, it's especially fun to see an older protagonist, as it feels like anime has aged alongside us. The premise might not be anything mind-blowing, but it ticks all the boxes for a fun shonen. The King of Manhwa has been finally animated, and it absolutely dominated the popularity contest. Sung Jin-woo's rise from the weakest hunter to an unstoppable force was animated beautifully. This is a perfect example of a power fantasy. It has banger character, banger dungeon raids, banger battles, wants to bang an
A minor.
It's not just his rank that changes, but so does his attitude and personality, and it's always fun to have a badass main character. The only reason why it isn't at the top of the list is because of the overall pacing, which was rather slow. Entire episodes went by with nothing really happening, and the animation was not quite on par as the top shonen series. This chaotic and unpredictable gem combines paranormal battles, aliens, and comedy in the most absurdly entertaining way. The MC literally lost his balls to a ghost granny in the first episode, and coincidentally, the OP song artists are called Creepy Nuts. The song itself became a sensation, and that alone catapulted Dandadan's popularity, but the show itself wasn't anything lackluster. It tells a wild yet exciting story of two kids trying to navigate a world where aliens tried to impregnate a girl with metal wieners, while ghosts trying to take boys' genitals. The alien arcs are action-packed while the ghost arcs touch your hearts. Nothing I said probably makes any sense, but that's only because I have summarized the plot pretty accurately. Regret is a painful emotion everyone has felt at some point, but when it strikes too late, the natural response is to look back. Something Fujimoto, the author of Chainsaw Man, captures profoundly in Look Back, a film that probably reflects his own experiences as a mangaka. From Fujino's struggles with incompetency, friendships, and career choices between art school and manga, the film feels deeply personal. Even when the story ventures into the surreal, it emphasizes the importance of moving forward while respecting and learning from the past, which strengthens the film's core message. We finally saw the artistic Bankai of Kyoraku painting a picture that caught the attention of everyone on the battlefield. The greatest comeback story in anime history, continuing to set the bar impossibly high, making headlines. Wrong headlines. My favorite was Renji and Uryu's wholesome rematch, which made it to my top anime fights of 2024 list, linked somewhere above here. Frieren offers a fresh, one-of-a-kind perspective in anime. Following the life of an elf over 1,000 years old, it weaves a heartwarming story of past and present, brimming with life lessons. She carries the memories of her old adventuring party, but isn't bound by them, instead guiding the next generation. When the action hit, it's epic and intricately detailed, like the clone fight, where techniques learned over centuries from various mages shine brilliantly. Frieren rewards viewers who pay attention, cementing its place as one of the best anime of 2024 and 2023.